Hi, Sarah. Thank you for your patience and thank you for booking with me. Thank you for your patience, especially. I basically, sorry, I'm already getting downloads, like messages. I feel like you're either apprehensive about somebody or somebody lurking on you or watching you. Because I'm looking over here and I'm gonna show you what I'm seeing. It's like somebody watching you do something. So I'm not sure if like right now in your current life you feel like somebody's out to get you, or there's just a negative energy around you that kind of that's kind of just hoping that you're not doing well at the moment. This could be an ex-friend, this could be an ex-partner, this could be somebody in your family that just doesn't really like you, but I'm definitely getting that energy right now as I was looking off. But see, I'm always talking. I hate it. Oh, and please excuse this like very creaky chair. As I do more past life readings, this chair gets creakier. Hopefully I will buy me one like by end of October. That will be my little gift to me, a non-creaky chair. This chair kind of reminds me of the squeaky boots from SpongeBob. But anyway, as I was trying to channel your energy, yes, I am getting that. And then I realized that some of the crystals that I'm also getting do involve a lot of protection and work. So I'm not sure if this is also you more channeling your gifts and stuff and kind of needing that up in protection. Like over here, I have a couple of crystals. This is pink chalcedony. This is, again, I feel like either you're recovering from something emotionally, or this is more of like self-love, self-acceptance. Pink chalcedony is kind of the crystal of going inward, of emotional healing. Think of it very similar to rose quartz, except it feels more like for emotional balance. It's not as like a super loving, oh, kind of matches my nail. It's not like a super loving crystal like rose quartz, but it's more for like it's more for being emotionally balanced. It's more for self-acceptance, for passion. And this could be passion in anything, like passion in your work life. And speaking of passion, I did notice that they have heavy Aries placements, which again, I'm gonna come jumping into these crystals. This is selenite. Now, selenite is the crystal of emotional, it's kind of like protection, yes. Kind of letting your emotions flow throughly. You do have your moon in Capricorn, which moons in Capricorns tend to want to control their emotions. They don't outwardly feel them. It's more about making sure that they're always in control, that they're always stable. I feel like this is not even more for you, but more for the people around you. And you have a very interesting combo with your sun in Pisces and moon in Capricorn, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Like I said, I'm always freaking talking, like somebody needs to tell me to shut up. But also labradorite. So I wish you could see how pretty it is. Like labradorite is like one of my favorite crystals. It kind of just, yeah, there we go. Can you see it? It kind of just glistens, and it's just, it kind of reminds me of the scale from Dragon Tales. But I think they were probably using like an opal. But it's the crystal of psychic protection. So again, that's why I'm kind of saying, like, I don't know what type of work you're dwelling into, or if you're opening yourself up more to receiving messages, but just make sure that your protection is like up, because I felt that as soon as like I started talking to you. I also have here, this is Tiger's Eye. I have another one, but for whatever reason, I got this one. I don't know if like you're into dragons. I'm very into dragons, but I couldn't find the other one, and this is the one that I so happen to have. Like that's, I know it's a little strange. I have like a full-on dragon crystal somewhere, but it's strength, courage, stability. This kind of reminds me of your Capricorn moon, to be honest with you. Strength, courage, stability, grounding. Again, I feel like with you there's a lot of passion, but you need something to balance it out. So actually, this little combination right here is very, very interesting. It kind of already feels kind of like a tarot spread. This feels more like Queen of Cups energy to me. This feels kind of like Ace of Cups energy to me. This one kind of feels like Three of Pentacles, and this one feels like King of Pentacles to me. So I don't know if that might pop up in your spread, and if it does, I will definitely be freaking out, and I should probably be writing this. Anyway, I do have a notebook where I keep everything, because sometimes I'll be channeling while I'm talking to people, and then I completely forget, and then later on in the video I remember, and I'm like completely freaked out. So I'm going to tell you where I got some of my sources from, because I do dwell a little bit on astrology, though not so heavy, because I'm not like a huge like astrology buff, but I do know something more or less. Now, if you're looking to get more into like past life astrology and like you're just kind of dissecting your chart a lot more. I definitely recommend Judy Hall. She's like an OG astrologer. She has this one called Past Life Astrology. This one's a little more simple, but she also has Karmic Connections. She has Patterns from the Past, which I all use in like I use it all to kind of gather information and kind of to dissect you on your chart, as well as cards. I use everything that I got on here. But in Past Life Astrology, she does state that when you have large clusters in certain houses, it kind of it tells you a little bit about, or a lot about your past life. I did notice you have heavy in Aries. Now Aries is young, it's passionate. This feels like maybe a lifetime that could have been like BC, like before Christ type life, that is greatly impacting you now. Now, whenever I do past life readings, I always tell people it's kind of like Avatar. It's Avatar the Last Airbender, not the blue one. It's kind of like Avatar the Last Airbender. Like, you channel certain lifetimes when certain problems come up. Like, he was channeling Avatar Roku, Avatar Kyoshi, different avatars for different problems. And it's very much indicative of our current lifetimes. We can always dig in into our soul's kind of like library to see what lifetime has already gone through a similar situation. So going back to this, my point of saying this is that your sun in Pisces with your moon in Capricorn, that's very interesting, because Pisces always tend to gather towards the spiritual. That is always our it's kind of how we dwell into. We always kind of want to merge in the collective. We always want to have the bigger picture for kind of humanity, and kind of like I said, kind of merge into the collective again. That's our goal, and we're always drawn to spirituality very early in our lifetimes. I don't know, I was getting the number 5 when I was trying to like channel your energy, so I don't know if you're going through a change, because 5 is the number of change, but it's also like maybe an age for you. Sorry, like you'll notice I'll like pause and stuff, but it's also maybe an age for you. Maybe this is when you first started realizing you were spiritual. For me, it's the number 9. It's also my my life path number, so I don't know if 5 is maybe your life path number, but it's the number of change. It's the number of like long-term goals, and it's a very powerful number. So I don't know if right now maybe you're going through some changes in your life, and that's why this number is popping up around you. So back to this. Yes, as Pisces, we want to merge into the collective. We're always drawn to the spiritual, but your moon in Capricorn kind of just wants control and stability, and most of the time it's not even for your own emotions. It's like you want to be controlled and you want to be stable for other people, and it's also very indicative of Pisces nature. We always want to be there, and we always want to be 100% for other people, but at the end of the day we got to make sure that we're good internally as well. So it's a very, very interesting combo for you. I feel like maybe you're very intuitive outwardly, because the sun would represent your outward representations, but internally you kind of maybe second guess most of your intuition, and you try to kind of combat it with logic. Being the Capricorns are very logical people, and they want to see results on paper. When I think of Capricorns, I always think of Dwight from The Office, but I don't know if he was a Capricorn, but I always think of Dwight. So back to this. So I am going to show you what deck that I'm using. I am using the Past Life Oracle deck. This deck is ancient. I got this deck maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if they make it. They might make it on bootleg somewhere. But I know that like if you want to buy like a legit one, these babies are like expensive. So I would definitely recommend, if you want it, like to find any outward sources. Like I said, I bought this one years ago. So I'm going to be using that, and I'm also going to be using the Psychic Tarot. Now this isn't like a normal tarot deck. This is actually very different from a regular tarot deck, but I'm also going to be using oh lord, I have like a mountain of tarot decks over here, like it's unhealthy, but I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Divine, which is more of like a storytelling deck, and I might even tell you which stories are in here, so maybe if you want to read them and see how they pertain to you. I feel like it's very interesting. This deck in itself is very interesting because it does give you a very like nice little story behind the actual card. So yeah, so I'm going to be using these, and I also have like a little message for you at the end for your patience for waiting, because I know that this has been a long time coming, but I always tell people I'm never late, I'm never early, I'm always on time. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. Like, I want to see what is going on with you. Again, excuse this creaky chair. So, what lifetime, oh man, directly relates to Sarah's current lifetime? Boom. Yeah, okay. So, I always tell people, one lifetime may pop up. It might be the strongest one, or you might have more than one pop up. Ooh. Oh, excuse the creaky chair. So, what did I say? Man, I got Greco-Roman. Remember what I said? Like, I felt like you had, like, I'm pretty sure Greco-Roman wasn't, like, before Christ or anything, but I knew there was a lifetime that was, like, deep in there somewhere. But I have two very specific lifetimes, and even a third one here, though the third one isn't as pronounced as the other two. But I'm gonna kind of show them to you how I'm getting them. You have, I feel like this one and this one go together, and these two are kind of like the factors here. So I have wars and battles. I have food and hunger. This is one lifetime. I also have the Greco-Roman era. I have vows, and I have love life. So I'm going to get into the Greco-Roman era. Oh, and these two, which are wisdom and trees. So this is actually, the trees one is a very separate lifetime for you. I feel like maybe it's hard to I don't want to say it's hard to connect, but it's kind of hard to grasp this reality's influences, if that makes sense. I feel like you have a lifetime, not in this current lifetime, maybe not in this era or this earth, but in a more of spiritual realm. I'm getting lots of trees. So this feels like maybe, I want to call it a fifth dimension type lifetime. Lots of trees. There's like, I don't know if you've ever seen where the fairies is kind of coming up to me. So I don't know if you've ever seen like Tinkerbell, and when she's like with her friends in that show, and they're kind of like all around trees, and they're kind of like, they're not gods or demigods, but they're more like little forest spirits. And that's kind of what I'm getting with this one. Like, maybe your soul reincarnated from that lifetime into these two lifetimes, so it was kind of a hard adjustment for it. I always tell people that have, like, if you've reincarnated as a man or a woman more than once, your soul will have trouble adjusting to your bodies, because you've maybe did so many switches, and the body adjusts to the life lessons of that current lifetime. So if the lessons revolve more around like being a woman and stuff like that, then it will reincarnate as a woman, or it will reincarnate as a man, depending on what the lessons are. So again, it feels like maybe you are more rooted in nature, and maybe your spirit is more rooted in nature, which is interesting. Remember, that Capricorn moon, that's stability. I feel like it recognizes that, and that's why you kind of maybe incarnated as a Pisces with a Capricorn moon. Wow, see, whoop, that kind of blows my mind a little bit, because if you really were in that other dimension, the spiritual is already there, but the stability is already there because of the Capricorn, because of like you weren't human, you were a spiritual being in a spiritual form, but around more trees, around more nature. So it kind of makes sense that your emotional would reincarnate as an earth, but you would be an outward water, more spiritual sign. That's crazy for me. Anyway, I'm gonna leave these on the side, and let me go right into this one. So the Greco-Roman era, this is I want to say this is more like, for whatever reason, I'm getting like Venice. I don't know if like that's more Italian than Roman, but I'm definitely getting Venice, the actual place. But this is pre This is like a, what is it? Troy's horse? The horse of Troy? This is like very much that era. And I feel like maybe you were a priest or a nun, because there's vows here, vows retaining to your love life. So ma'am, if you have never been a big dater, or you're a big dater now, it feels like you have to be very careful when you date other people, because there's certain, like, your soul made a certain contract that said either I'm not going to date, or I'm not going to marry, or I'm going to save myself for someone else. And the soul was very, very indicative of this. It will haunt you in your current lifetime. I'm telling you this from pre-experience. I want to see what cards pop up. Because it very much feels, what type of, ooh, oh man. Oh. So you have heartache and loss. You have the solar plexus. See, so I'm telling you, those chastity vows will get you. And then you have authority. I feel like what it's telling me right now, it's during this lifetime, you probably made some vows of chastity, or you outwardly said, I feel like this, to me, feels like there was somebody, like some kind of like unrequited love. And this was not meant to be a love reading. I hate love readings. But this feels like there was a vow here made that you would wait for somebody till they came back. This is what it feels like. When I see heartache and loss, again, this brings me back to the pink chalcedony. You might have had like a very karmic relationship with somebody, or this could be a friend, or I feel like this is more romantic though. Because most of the times, like, you're reincarnate with your parents and stuff, but it feels like a partner. Like, maybe it's somebody that you're having a hard time letting go of now, but it feels like during this lifetime, you were a woman, you were incarnated again as a woman, but you made a vow that you would never ever be with anyone ever again. And that's a very dangerous vow to make, and I'll tell you why. Because your soul will kind of like take that and make a contract of it, and so you will experience a karmic relationship with this person again to show you why you should have let go, or why it was a better decision to have made. But I feel like this person outwardly broke your heart in this lifetime. I'm getting a very young woman. She's very, very pretty. She has like long brown hair, and for whatever reason she's wearing, it's not a white dress, but it's an off cream dress. So it's a very off cream dress. She doesn't look like she comes from money. I always can tell when, like, during eras, like, they'll come from money, because they will have like is that the word for it? They'll have like ridiculous dresses. But she doesn't look like she comes from money, but it looks like this person was of a better class than her, maybe a soldier with more money. And this man was not a good man. I want to know what he reincarnated is that. This man feels like he's either an air sign, or he's a fire sign. Oh, okay. I got a lot to say. Let's see. Ma'am. It has to be a water sign, but I'm getting Page of Cups reversed, the Tower reversed, and the Nine of Cups reversed. So what I'm feeling is like maybe this person at first seemed like everything you wanted them to be, but then you realize that they really had nothing to offer you. And I feel like that's very indicative of this lifetime. You might have felt like a very similar energy to them, like a very, like, I don't want to call it an at-home connection, but a familiar connection. And it was like the soul in itself kind of was resisting the change. It's like they knew. This person feels like a freaking womanizer. This wasn't a Cancer man, right? You haven't dated no Cancer man? Because it kind of feels like a Cancer man. But it feels like very much they were not making you any offers. They were not offering you anything. And for whatever reason, the soul, when I see authority, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump all over the place, but when I see authority, this is what I mean. I feel like he was a soldier and he was not making you any offers, because he kind of feels like a straight up womanizer. Like, it feels like he kind of was just using people back and forth for what he wanted. And you kind of got caught up in the midst of that. and you felt like, oh, maybe he's just busy at work, or because I see you waiting, and this room kind of, not in this room, but you're in your own home. You're probably around like 16, 17. You're the youngest of the bunch, definitely. So I don't know if maybe the relationship in itself was going on around this time, or this could have been your first love. 16, 17, and you're kind of like in a room waiting around for him at your home, wishing that he'd come back, and you made a vow to him that you would wait till he comes back. But this man doesn't come back. This man literally goes off and he has his own separate life. He decides never to come back to Rome, Venice. I see a lot of pretty flowers. I see you kind of being very heartbroken during this lifetime. It feels like what you didn't get in this lifetime, you got during this current one. So by that, I mean that dreamy aspect of Pisces is still here. She still feels like a water sign. But when she dies, there's a lot of resentment. And there's a kind of a need for drastic change. So what I'm feeling like maybe those areas, hard placements of yours, that's where changes need to occur. And that's why you reincarnated with so many heavy Aries placements. I like caressing them. That's why you reincarnated with those heavy Aries placements, because that's those. I would take a second look at your chart and look where you have those Aries placements. Because that's where you need to take action. That's where the most action needs to be oriented for you in those areas of your life. Now, I feel like this vow between you and him will eventually come to light. I say you and him, but honestly, they will reincarnate whatever your preference is. We need to take a look at those second vows so that they could be released. This lifetime feels very, kind of, I don't want to say, it feels very nostalgic. I don't know if you've ever wanted to go to Venice, but I do see like this kind of like long, it's like a long stone path. I don't know if maybe you've dreamt of this. It's a long stone path. I'm going to draw it. Every time I do a past life reading, I start drawing, and I'm not the one. You know, I was gifted with a lot of intuitive talents, but I was never gifted with any drawing capabilities. So here we go. So what I'm seeing is like this kind of like long path, and it's like stone walls, and on the stone walls there's a lot of flowers, and at the end almost looks like a door. Like, this is gonna be the worst drawing ever. So it's like a long stone path. It's very open, so you might see like the sun from up high. Might see the sun from up high. And there's a long stone path with like pink flowers. They're very I don't even know what the name of those flowers are, but they're very very pink, almost a purple color. And you're walking here. So what that indicates to me, you're walking here, and you're 16 here, and you're 45 here. So what that indicates to me is that there was not a lot of events that happened between this time, and your soul kind of lived very like sad and defeated, and the years kind of just went by for you waiting on this one person that was never going to come back. That's again where heartache and loss comes in. It's like you never got the clarification that you needed, so you stayed holding on to this person. And I feel like now they probably reincarnated and they showed you why they were not the person for you. This relationship could have already happened, or it will eventually happen, but I need you to be aware of it in case it hasn't happened yet. So from ages 16 to 45, there's nothing really going on in the lifetime because you kind of just gave up. It feels like you settled. Like, it definitely feels like you settled. And again, that's where those hard Aries placements come for me. It feels like those Aries is very action oriented. It does not take no as an answer. It's very new, it's very fresh, it's very vibrant energy, and that's where those hard Aries placements are on your chart. I feel like this is where you need to take action. Is your Venus in Aries? Because I feel like this is why you reincarnated with these placements. This is why you chose to come back with all those placements and stuff. Maybe that's why I'm seeing the number 5. Number 5 is change, it's movement, it's action. But let me get into this other lifetime. I might need that. Oh, I'll tell you at the end, but I just realized something else. So this lifetime was a little depressing. But let me see the wars and battles one. So the wars and battles for me, it does not feel like it doesn't feel like it's an American soil, if that makes sense. Whenever I see wars and battles, sometimes it is like an American soil, but other times it feels more like way before the gun was invented. And this is one of those lifetimes. This lifetime feels I don't want, it could be more towards like I'm getting like England. I'm getting very England, very London, very like European here. I don't know if that's where like your roots lie or anything, or if you've been heavily attracted to going to like London, England, even like not Switzerland, but you know those countries that are like a little bit above. I need a map. I'm gonna buy a map. But any of those countries that are above, because this feels very much like during that era, like very Europe. It definitely, sorry I freak out, but it definitely feels like that era. And I'm getting the scent of jasmine, so I don't know if that's like one of your preferred scents, or it's telling me like the passing or like what was around this person at the time. So I'm getting like a very jasmine scent, the flower. Again, you're a woman and you're carrying a child, so this era was particularly destructive. It feels like maybe this was like not, I don't want to say this was pre Tea Party, but this was when the wars were breaking out and stuff. And you're a young woman, and I feel like your husband went off to war, and you're caring for this child on your own, and it's very, very difficult for you because there is not a main provider for there's not somebody providing, again, that Capricorn stability and stuff. I feel like this is why your soul chose to reincarnate as this person. You were lacking a lot of stability in these lifetimes, and I feel like that's why that need for control, that need for emotional stability, it's coming up on you again. And this lifetime feels very, very sad. Like it feels like this woman was just trying her best. Again, she's very young, so she's around the age of like maybe like 19. I'm getting 19 to 23. So like her need for stability is so grand right now that I feel like she made vows of either making sure she would never struggle again or never go through like the emotional hardships that she's going through now. It feels like her husband was carried away and she's literally living in this, I'm getting like this little shack. Here I go drawing again. For someone that really can't draw, it's just, so it's like, I'm going to draw pine trees. I don't know if they mean anything to you, and these are going to be the horriblest pine trees, but I'm getting pine trees. Pine trees. I'm getting kind of like, this is more wintertime, so I know that she struggled a lot. So it's like a very wooded area, and there's like a little cottage. It's a very small cottage too. So it's like pine trees, and it's a small cottage. It seems like more towards like outer England. I am going to get a map and I'm going to study this map, but this is more towards like outer England. And it's more towards the winter time, so things are getting very harsh. Her husband is not back. Her husband has been gone for about like 5-6 months. And it feels like she's struggling to feed her and her baby. Like the main source of her income was like, it's like washing. Like I feel like she was like washing or like taking care of other people's like laundry and stuff, but it's hard for her to get from point A to point B because like she does have a horse. I don't know if you've been widely attracted to horses since you were young. She does have a horse, but it's kind of hard for her to move around because of the baby. Like the baby is taking up a lot of her time, and it's kind of hard for her to even like provide for both of them. This feels like a very, very sad lifetime. Like, it just feels very like not good. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh. Transformation. The waiting game. And partnership and alliances. So this feels like it's telling me, it's your soul was probably going through a very, very difficult period because it needed to transform itself. It needed to kind of stop living in a rut, and I feel like this was the wake-up call the soul needed. Like I said, time was of the essence here, so I'm just gonna flat out say it, like, you and the child do not make it. Like, it feels very much like food and hunger was a big play in here, but also the cold and like the time. And I feel like maybe the person that you do end up with is gonna be the one that left in this lifetime. So I want to see what kind of placements this person has. This was not intended to be a past life love reading, and honestly, just some things just don't play out the way you think they do. See, that like there was struggles and strife, so I feel like this person will come in your life when there's a lot of struggles and strife, because they're trying to make a comeback. They're trying to like prove that they have always been here and that they will continue to be here, even if it's not outwardly. Their soul is like, I am here. 3 of Wands. Even though 5 is a pivotal number for you, I think like throughout this, the number 3 is also very pivotal for you. I did get a lot of 3s. So the number 3 is about partnership. It's about alliances. 3 is a party. It's about kind of, I feel like 3 people are very fun and very enjoying. But it's also, think of the Trinity, the mind, the body, the spirit, the number 3. It's very, very much in that area. So I feel like right now you're uniting those. It's kind of an awakening for you, a transformation. You're going through that right now. And the 3 of Wands, it's kind of like building better for yourself. It's making those changes that you need, making those mental changes that you need too. The King of Swords is here. Oh, the Ace of Wands. What am I saying? I quit. Okay. But yeah, it's making those mental and emotional changes that you need to make sure that your spirit kind of transforms itself. And I feel like these lifetimes were very, very pivotal to that. There was a lot of suffering. What did I tell you? Pisces always tend to gravitate towards the spiritual because of there's a suffering aspect to it that kind of wakes us up a lot earlier than other people, that we gravitate towards spirituality and gravitate towards that. So what was the last card under there? It was wisdom. I feel like there was much needed lessons that needed to be learned. I feel like you need to see this card. I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like people need to like look at the card for a little bit, but I feel like there was a lot of hard lessons regarding stability, food and hunger. That's like a lesson on stability, on like finances. So I feel like maybe this is a period of your life that you're going into right now that your soul is like, hey, we've been in really uncomfortable positions before, and now we need you to bring that fire energy in here, because your soul is kind of like awakening and it's coming into something better. I feel like maybe you've had dreams of being in either very, very icy cold winters, of you crossing into maybe that stone bridge. Or if not, you will have those dreams. I always tell people, like, once you get a past life reading, shit just starts kind of hitting you in the face, especially like in the dream realm. So back to this, lessons on stability, on finances, lessons on kind of not settling in your love life. And that's why that fire energy kind of like stays in there. I also want to do one more. What was it? What was I going to do? Oh, sorry. There's like cards sprawled all over the place. A message from spirit, because I feel like maybe that's what you need right now. While I clean this mess. So a message from spirit, because maybe that's what you really, really need right now, because I'm being called to this deck. By the way, this is the, which deck is this? I don't know, I got it somewhere on here. I'll let you know once I find this. This is like the Mermaid's one by Doreen Virtue. Ooh. What message does Sarah need to hear? Woo. Again, healing heart. What did I say about the pink Chalcedony? I feel like you're very much going through like this healing period. The green, there's a lot of green in these cards as well. It says you're currently working on some healing right now, and I feel like your soul knows exactly what to do when it comes to this healing, and you are doing the work. Even on days when you feel like you are not, you are still doing the work, either mentally, either emotionally, either in the dream realm. It's showing you what you need to do to heal, and I feel like you need to pay attention to that, or you need to start like writing down your dreams, because they're giving you vital information that's going to help your healing. So don't ever feel like you're ever not healing, or you're like stuck in a healing phase, because you're always currently moving and evolving. Oh, it says, wait, don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for better results. So whatever you're thinking of doing, of kind of just rushing into something blind, give it some time. I feel like things kind of come to light when they need to, and you just kind of have to focus on yourself until they really do come all the way to light. And then it says consult on what did I say about more information? It says more information needed. Contact someone with expertise in that area. So even if it's just a friend that's kind of more experienced in certain areas, then maybe that's what you need to do. And it says break free. Try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. So when I see break free, I feel like maybe this is more related to your spirituality, and maybe you've kind of been stuck in the same path. Maybe you need to try something different, whether it's tarot, whether it's kind of writing down your dreams. I feel like I'm giving you a hint right now, and you should take it. Oh, and over here it says watch your thoughts. So it said, I feel like it's being more, what is it? What's the word for it? It's being more self-aware. Maybe that's what you need to be working on right now. It's self-awareness, and it's letting yourself receive these messages without being judgmental of them, without kind of like overthinking it, overanalyzing it, and just kind of taking it how it is. Again, this partnership and alliance card is coming out to me, so I feel like maybe you need to reach out to a friend, or you need to consult more with your friends, especially the ones that are more open to receiving like or hearing your spiritual messages. Again, weight. Look, you've gotten weight. You've gotten weight twice. And you've gotten partnerships and alliances, consult an expert, twice. So I feel like this is kind of a very like go out there and really do it. It's time. Like wait on what you need to wait onto, but the things that do not need to be waited onto, you need to rush forward like nobody's business. Again, I'm really curious to see where those Aries placements are, because I feel like that's the areas of your life that you don't need to settle in, especially on your love life. I feel like this is a big kind of step forward for you right now, and in all areas. And I didn't see the number 5 at all, but I'm still getting the number 5, so I don't know what that means. But if you have any questions and you eventually realize why I keep mentioning the number 5, please let me know. It has been a pleasure to read for you. I hope I hear back from you. And if you need anything, you can always just DM me on Twitter. Thank you so much, honey, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.